Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back to another recording of Gone Home. Let us continue. So, one thing that has occurred to me is we have got no story whatsoever about what is going on in Kate's life, the character I'm playing, or the mother's life, really. And we've got more of these drawers that just have checkbooks and garbage in it. Come on. Seriously. Why are they full of checkbooks and garbage? Katie, please tell mom and dad sorry about the stuff that's missing. Sam. I have this feeling that maybe Sam took some stuff and ran off. Like money, perhaps? Okay, what's this? I'm not even getting the text overlay for this one. Okay. Hi Lonnie, so if you wanted to come over to my house still this afternoon, that would be cool. I can drive. It's kind of far, but I can drive you home too, so hopefully that's fine. Right back and leave this in my locker if you still want to, and we can meet at the parking lot after 6, Samantha. Yeah, I'm totally in. See you there. Then I'm gonna kick your butt. Get ready. And then it has a guy doing a Hadouken from Street Fighter to the face of her. So
you know what they say about the best laid plans of mice and men? Yeah, turns out it applies to Street Fighter too. At least I worked up the courage to walk into the 7-Eleven and ask for a turn, but all that practice at home did not exactly translate in the wild. So after I was finished getting my butt kicked, I followed them outside while they smoked. And that was when she asked me if I was that psycho house girl. But then she said she's always really wanted to see the psycho house. Her name is Lonnie. She's coming over tomorrow.
alright. So she's trying to make friends. Lip stuff. We have a couple unique items here. Dice and lip stuff. Let's see. Anything here in the trash? Yes, a crumpled up paper. Katie, please, whatever you found, don't tell mom and dad the attic. Okay, that's locked. So we can't go to the basement, and we can't go over on the right side. So we are walking through this creepy house. I am still not sure if it's creepier to have the front doors open or not. And I imagine these aren't just gonna unlock by themselves. It's nothing magical is gonna happen. So now I have to go up the creepy dark stairwell. Guess we're going towards the attic. Let's see, pack of cards, down the stairs, newspaper clipping. And I don't know where the overlay text went. I literally did nothing. I paused the game and then came back. Here, I just did this and then this between last episode, and it stopped working. Who knows? Maybe they just didn't bother to do some of the overlays, but then why is it there at all? Anyways, Control burn scheduled for Boone County. Boone County plumes of smoke will rise above the northeastern region of Boone County over the better part of next week as part of the Forestry Service run controlled burn of overgrowth sections in the Flintlock National Park. Forestry crews have been preparing the area for months. The burn operation will take place between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and possibly into Thursday depending on the speed of progress according to the Forestry Service. In addition to removing dead and overgrown vegetation that can lead to wildfires in drier months, the operation will serve as a valuable training tool for the forestry and firefighter personnel involved, said senior conservationist Janice Greenbrier. Smoke will likely linger in the area through the following weekend. So that's like the only thing we've seen about the mother is she's a conservationist. What is that? Just wallpaper peeling? Here's a bulb that would be a nightmare to change. Just put your ladder on the stairs and climb up, sure. It's not something I would want to do. Every corner I turn, it's just, I hold my breath. Nothing has happened in this game. Nothing whatsoever. And yet I'm terrified. Just by a creepy little thing. Every time I turn around, I expect there to be some monster behind me. Alright, weekly planner. Well, gee, come on, let's see if we can get that to work again. Gameplay. Show tutorial. Was it under language? Overlay text. It's just not working. Okay, so what does this say? Monday something bowling? Competitive bowling? I really can't read people's cursive. They don't even teach cursive anymore in schools nowadays, and thank goodness. I'm glad to see it gone. It's outlived its usefulness. Wednesday cooking classes take apron. Friday ballroom dancing. So that's either competitive baking or competitive bowling. I think it's competitive bowling. And then some of these have been scratched through. So let's see. But at the bottom it says crack the big for cook the big meal for Terry and Sam. Terry? Who's Terry? Oh, is that the dad? I think that's the dad. Pin. All pins belong to the floor now. Can't pick up anything. Let's examine this form. Notice of temporary personal transfer. Bruce Pendleton, head of Personal State Forestry Service. To aid in the upcoming prescribed burn operation, a ranger will, with expertise in the procedures, being transferred to the station at Flintlock National Forest effective 9/2/94. Please see attached personnel file. The overseeing officer at Flintlock Forestry Station, Senior Conservationist Janice Green, is charged with the supervision of transferred personnel. The duration of the transfer will be based upon performance evaluation as well as the recommendation of the overseeing office. So she got somebody was transferred there to her. Okay. That doesn't really mean anything. She's just, other than she's high up. And she's in charge of overseeing transfers. A cassette tape. What does this say? Bratmobile TTMOTHY. Well, it's a cassette tape, and we know what to do with cassette tapes at least. We will go back to the TV room, and we will play it. You know what this house could really use? A security system. And a dog or 5. Let's see. For Sam. Oh, it's empty. It says for Sam, but it's Love Thing, X tabs, Cherry Bomb, Throwaway, Product, Something Special, Fuck Yours Fans, Polaroid Baby, Panic Ridge. No. No You Don't, Queenie, Kiss and Ride. Oh, so you have to spin this a certain way to see the inside. You're gonna like this one. Interesting. Now if you go the other way, it just stays closed. This is an interesting gameplay mechanic of getting more story.
It's weird hanging out with girls. Daniel was around ever since I was little, and other girls? I don't know. But being around Lonnie is like instantly just right. I gave her the grand Psycho House tour and took my revenge on Super Nintendo. It was like, I don't know. I finally found someone I feel normal around. I drove her home and she gave me this tape and said, "You have got to listen to this." I haven't stopped playing it since.
So they're up to Super Nintendo now. But maybe they were always talking about Super Nintendo. Was there a regular Nintendo NES Street Fighter game? Almost certain there was, but I could be wrong. So, if you haven't caught on yet, it seems like she is developing maybe a little bit of a crush on... Sam is developing maybe a little bit of a crush on Lonnie. Which is fine. I don't judge. Sam, stop leaving every damn light on the house on. You're as bad as your sister. That's just hilarious since that's exactly what I'm doing. Daniel called. He wants his Nintendo game back. Sternly worded letter. So they don't even go in a room anymore to talk to her. They just put this out. To whom may it concerned, I, Samantha Greenbrier, am 17 years old and therefore am an independent, fully functional human being. The fact that you still forbid me from going into the city on my own is frankly absurd. Compared with Katie, who is only 3 years older than me, and yet you allowed her to go all the way across the ocean to another continent on your own. I just want to spend an evening in a normal, totally safe city on my own, like a human being, and since you may also remember that I have my own car now, you can't really stop me. Warmest regards, your daughter Samantha. Yeah, I don't think that was gonna work. Alright, this is creepy. Radioactive thing. A dunk. Let's see. So I'm just now snooping as much as I am actually looking for things. Here we go. We have a cassette, and this is the other cassette that we just found, and we'll just stick it here. squinting at the picture. Squinting the best I can. I could never get these magic eye things to work. The best I could try to figure out what they were. Maybe that isn't actually a magic eye. Maybe it's just scribblings of a lunatic. I think it's... yeah, I have no idea. Let me know in the comments if you can see anything in that. I think in particular, trying to do this in through a video game is a bad idea. Yeah, I never liked these. So, Super Spitfighter. These are Super Nintendo games. But where's the Super Nintendo? Ah, she probably stole it. That would explain things. Why there's nothing hooked up to the TVs is she stole. She took the Laserdisc player and she took the other thing. Let's see. Legend of Crystal. These aren't real games. Eject tape. I thought I'd get some kind of dialogue from that. Oh well. Read codes. Chun-Li moves. Fireball. Back, hold, forward, punch. Lightning kick. Kick, 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 kick. Helicopter kick. Down, hold, up, kick. Air stomp down while jumping. Middle kick. I remember doing that from Mortal Kombat. I need a combination. And a pillow, just sitting here. Let's read this note. Hi Lonnie, I wrote this in first period and left it in your locker on the way to second. It's what all the cool kids are doing, I've decided. Write me back. Also, here's an idea for something to draw. 2 cats on a motorcycle. Hi, this is a good idea. What all the cool kids are actually doing is sending each other pages in Hey, this is a good idea. What all the cool kids are actually doing is sending each other pages as their beepers, but we're cooler than them because guess what? They can't put this on a beeper. And then it's a picture of a cat. Your drawing of cats was so good that I added it to a background to make it even better. Maybe I should just stick to writing. So she drew the background black part. Ah, there are 2 cats there. There's a cat riding the motorcycle and a cat driving the motorcycle. Haha, I like it. How did you know that they were about to be abducted by aliens? I'm looking at Mr. Fish right now. I feel like he would probably have lots of cats. Also, like his secret shame is he watches 90210 religiously. I'll ask him about it after class. He said he doesn't have cats and also that he's never watched 90210, but I could see in his eyes that he was lying. Ah. Enjoy it, kids harassing teachers. Although, these days, you can't get away with much. Not like the good old days of 95 when you could really harass them. Sonic Boom 94. Interesting poster. Clothes on the floor. Typical teenager. A board game. Got your number. Oh, you mystery date is what this is. This was an actual board game that was really, really sexist by today's standards. Sam had this in Sam had this like in the 4th grade. It's a penguin. And inside is a book, the Holy Bible. Okay, well, why would you hide a Bible in there? Check it for drugs. Can't open it. Can't do anything with it. Let's see what this note is. The King's Labyrinth, Chapter 2, Fraying Threads. Ah, so this is that story that she started as a little kid, and it seems like she's improved on her writing skill. Captain Allegra, still on the flowing skirt and sturdy jerkin, descended the single shining thread into the lower cavern of the labyrinth. She and the first mate, on their own now, grew closer to their goal, the throne room of the dead immortal king of the island. The first mate slid down the line onto the stone floor. She swept chalky bone dust from the front of the canvas trousers, and looked up at Allegra. The silken thread, nigh unbreakable thanks to the enchanted moss that had inhabited the island, trailed behind, leading their way back to the entrance. From further into the labyrinth, a moan began to echo. The moaning grew louder and clearer. It turned into words from an ancient language they could not understand. The king's cursed voice. The hairs on Captain Allegra's arms stood on end. She looked back at the first mate, whose eyes remained locked onto the blackness of the passage for a moment. Too long before noticing the captain's gaze, the first mate nodded silently ahead. So, she doesn't seem like she's getting better, but this isn't a great writing. I've got more of this too I have to read. Following the king's ghostly song deeper and deeper into the labyrinth, they came upon a rocky gap spilling forth otherworldly blue light. The great basin of the dead king's throne room laying below. Skelter in rotted robes, the king was hunched over the blue orb topping his royal scepter. Shadows of his bony fingers danced on the walls like ghouls. As he sang, cracks in the cavern walls pulled into the orb, causing to glow brighter and brighter. Behind the king, a long staircase hewn from rock led down into the chamber from a passage at the top. Allegra said, "We have the advantage in numbers. I will draw his attention and then you." But the first mate interrupted. "No, I am smaller and quicker, and you know of dealing with mystic energies like these. I will circle to the other side, get the king's attention, and lead him on a merry chase." She held up the silk line, all traced by the invisible thread. "Of course," Allegra said, "it is a good plan, but perhaps we should go together." The first mate shook her head. "You know this is the best chance. Don't be afraid from me." They grasped hands and exchanged 3 tight squeezes, their palms growing warm. The first mate tied the shining thread to the belt of her trousers, gave a quick salute and a wink, and dashed off. Allegra waited, staring vigilantly across the top of the stairs where the first mate was to appear. The king continued his... Wait, no. The singing stopped. The king turned and began walking up the stairs. Allegra wanted to call out, to do anything to stop the first mate from running headfirst into danger. She tried tugging the line to signal her. No use. The king was nearly to the top of the stairs when the first mate burst through the passage. She skidded to a stop. Even from across the yawning base, Allegra could see the first mate's eyes growing wide. She turned and ran, summoning his undead power. The king left the ground, levitating, gliding behind her with distressing speed. For, from some dark, dank passage, much too far away, Allegra heard the first mate scream. She was already running toward the sound. The line in Allegra's hand went taut, then shuddered. It fell slack to the stone floor. As Allegra ran, she was gathering the line, twisting it all around her arm. She came to its end. The unbreakable thread dangled limply, its and shredded and frayed in her hand. She tossed it to the ground and ran and ran. Okay. There's something deeply psychologically well made about this game. How it makes you sit here and read, and then it has these creepy storm sounds go. So she's getting better at writing, but that wasn't a great story. It had too many big words. It had too much reading for me. And I know I've overcommitted to reading, but unfortunately, what do? You either sit there in dead silence while I have the screen up for multiple seconds, so that people who do want to read can read it, or I just read it out loud, and then people have to deal with somebody else reading it, which is very annoying because when you read things normally, you hear it in your own voice. When somebody else reads it out loud, it's not usually how somebody wants to do it. So, best recommendation I could make is when any of those screens come up, just mute the volume on the YouTube video and then unmute it once the screen comes down. Anywho, that's gonna be it for this recording. We went a little long because of that story. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.